Right now, there are two versions of you, the one you are today and the one you could become. And the scary part is, only one of them will exist, because whether you realize it or not, your current life is not an accident. It's the result of thousands of small decisions you didn't even realize you were making. Decisions about what to focus on, who to listen to, what to believe was possible. And most people never question any of it. They wake up, they do what they're told, they distract themselves, they repeat, not because they're stupid, because they were conditioned. Conditioned to stay comfortable, conditioned to stay predictable, conditioned to never step outside the invisible boundaries placed around them. But here's the truth. There is nothing special about the people who escape. They just see what others refuse to see. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Because there are 5 stages every young person goes through. 5 stages that determine whether you stay average or become someone nobody can ignore. And most people never make it past stage 1. The first stage is the most dangerous because it doesn't look like a trap. It looks like normal life. You do what's expected. You follow the path that was laid out for you before you were even old enough to question it. School, job, paycheck, repeat. And slowly, without realizing it, you stop asking yourself what you actually want. You start optimizing for safety instead of growth, comfort instead of opportunity, predictability instead of freedom. And the longer you stay here, the harder it becomes to leave. Because your brain adapts. It starts protecting the life you have instead of building the life you could have. This is how people lose decades without noticing. Not in dramatic failure, but in quiet repetition. And the most dangerous thought you can have is this: this is fine. Because average doesn't feel painful enough to escape. It just feels permanent. But there's a moment that changes everything. A moment where you stop accepting the default life and enter stage 2. This stage doesn't begin with success. It begins with discomfort. You start noticing things you ignored before. You realize most people around you are not moving forward. They're maintaining, surviving, waiting for motivation, waiting for clarity, waiting for permission. But permission never comes. And something inside you shifts. You stop seeing time as unlimited. You start seeing it as fragile. Every day wasted suddenly feels expensive. Every distraction feels heavier. You realize that if nothing changes, 5 years from now will look exactly like today. And that thought becomes unbearable. So you make a decision, not a loud one, not one you announce to the world, a quiet decision, a private one. You decide that your future will not be decided by accident. This is where your identity begins to change, because once you decide to move forward, your brain starts looking for paths, which brings you to stage 3. This is where everything accelerates, because you stop being casual. You stop treating your future like a hobby. You become intentional. You start studying instead of scrolling. You start building instead of consuming. You stop asking what's easy and start asking what's valuable, because you realize something most people never understand. Your income is a reflection of your usefulness. The more problems you can solve, the more valuable you become. And this is when momentum begins. You learn your first skill. You see your first progress, small at first, almost invisible, but real. And progress changes everything, because progress creates belief. Belief creates action. Action creates momentum. And momentum creates transformation. But this stage comes with a cost, because growth requires separation, which leads to stage 4. This is the stage nobody talks about. The stage where you outgrow your old life, but haven't fully built your new one yet. You start thinking differently. You start acting differently. You start seeing opportunities where others see obstacles. And this creates distance, not because you want it to, because growth changes you. You become more disciplined, more focused, more intentional. And suddenly, the things that once satisfied you feel empty. Distractions lose their power. Comfort loses its appeal. You begin operating on a different level, not because you're smarter, because you became more intentional. This is where most people turn back, because the unknown is uncomfortable. But the ones who continue enter the final stage. This is where your past effort compounds. Your skills become assets. Your assets create income. Your income creates independence. You are no longer controlled by necessity. You are guided by choice. And the most powerful part isn't the money. It's the person you became in the process. Because you are no longer someone who waits. You are someone who builds, someone who adapts, someone who executes. And once you reach this point, you realize something that changes you forever. You were never stuck. You were never incapable. You were never limited. You were simply unaware of your own potential. until now. Because the difference between average and exceptional is not talent. It's awareness. Awareness of what matters. Awareness of how to move forward. Awareness of how powerful your decisions truly are. And the moment you realize that, everything changes. Your future is not decided by where you start. It's decided by what you choose next. So the only question left is this: which version of you will exist? The one who stayed comfortable, or the one who became unstoppable? The decision is yours, and it always was.